welcome guys. Onelife Podcast here with Cordell, our weekly little chats that we have. Today we're going to talk about how to get a six-pack, the truth about getting a six-pack, the misconceptions out there, and not even for people just trying to get abs, but just this general information applies to anybody looking to lose weight, male, female, doesn't it?
Right.
So what's some of the misconceptions go around about getting abs and having a six-pack?
Man, where do I start? Male and female six-packs, most people think it's going to require a hardcore diet to where you are doing everything to the max, at least from what I've been told. Training your hardest, training as much as possible, training as hard as possible, doing abs every day, doing a very strict diet.
Doing abs every day being a big one, right?
Yeah, it's just more so, most people who are looking for ab advice or weight loss advice, they usually have no direction, meaning they haven't started anywhere at all. So from someone going to maybe like a more sedentary lifestyle to where they're just taking care of their family and going to work, to getting a regimen that says 6 days a week of cardio and 5 days a week of weights and then broccoli and chicken, every meal, opposed to eating what they usually eat, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. They're gonna try it for a few weeks, maybe lose some weight, and then hit a plateau, get fatigued, get stressed out from the meals, and then just kind of reset and go back to normal, if not gain even more weight.
Yeah,
that's usually how it goes.
And let's shout out to Byron. He mentioned this, and I can definitely relate. Is everyone's got abs, everyone's got a six-pack. It's just the layer of fat that covers it. And to see your abs, to have abs as a male, you got to be probably under 12 to 10% body fat.
Right.
A female, what would you say? Like probably similar, right?
Yeah, maybe like high teens. That's at least for ladies.
So you got to be quite lean to be there. But if you take a cadaver, you take a body, you chop it up, you take away the fat, everybody's got abs underneath. Right. Not everyone's got the same looking abs, depending on exercise you did growing up, your body structure, exercise you do now. I've got very developed abs because I've done martial arts my whole life. It's a lot of twisting, turning, so everything tends to have been developed pretty well.
Much better.
Some people got splits between the abs, which I don't have. I'll never have. Yours?
Yeah, I like the aesthetic look. That's the thing you're saying is like, people will see a particular person, maybe they've seen you in a photo shoot and they want your abs. Like you just were mentioning, everyone's gonna have different size. Some people have 2 abs, and that's all that shows.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how lean they get, right? And unfortunately, they're just stuck with that.
Some will have 8-packs, 6-packs. Some will have crazy serratus or obliques, which is your side muscles, and that's usually your puncher muscles. So if you're an athlete or like a mixed martial arts, like you mentioned, doing mixed martial arts,
like twisting and turning,
that's going to give you that very unique development. One thing that most people don't realize too is females, and males, the reasons why we might lose weight in every area when we're on a weight loss journey or trying to get in shape, and our ab region is the last to go, is because we have all our major organs. Our body wants to keep those areas insulated and protected. So it's a process to actually lose that body fat, and some of us can't ever get down to that amount of body fat because it takes a lot of work. It takes years. And if you hit a plateau to where you're not losing the weight you're doing yourself, which is why I always say someone like Byron, seek professional advice for someone who's actually at that amount of body fat, and they do that for a living, because after a while you're going to be spinning your wheels. If you go from someone who's maybe like 40% body fat and they want to have abs, they may never ever achieve that by themselves.
It's a long journey.
It's a journey. It's going to be, you're going to need someone to back you up. It's going to need a team. That's just an example. It's possible, but you have to actually know what's going on. A lot of hormones take place as well as you lose more weight. So getting labs done, checking your blood work done, seeing a dietitian or someone who knows how to do your diet, possibly taking diet breaks, so if you actually are on a diet, taking breaks and having leisure. Your body doesn't like to get rid of that much body fat, especially that fast. If you've been 40% body fat for 10 years, and you want to go from 40 to, crazy it sounds, 4% body fat, which is possible, that's your goal. Don't expect to lose that weight in 6 months or even a year, healthy wise. It's going to take time to where you want to have a structured regimen on the monthly basis, and
it's chipping away
because it's a lifestyle. If you want to go to 4% body fat or just the single digits and maintain that, it's going to take your body being comfortable going to that weight and being set at that body fat weight. So.
And one thing that really bugs me is you get these guys on TikTok and do this 10-minute ab routine every day for 30 days and you have abs. not once is nutrition or diet mentioned.
Very misleading, yes.
And I hate to tell you this, guys, but you can do sit-up after sit-up. You can train abs 7 days a week, but unless you reduce that body fat, you are never, ever, ever, ever going to have a six-pack. You're never going to see your abs.
Yeah, you won't see it.
You will not see it because it's covered in fat.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
And it's more distorting for women as well, because women are meant to bear babies. They're meant to have more body fat in this region for that particular purpose.
Absolutely,
as
yeah.
well. So if they don't have the right direction, it's even more misleading for them, and they can get very frustrated as well. So for them, that they really be even more diligent with what they're doing. If they're hitting plateaus, maybe seeking advice from a professional to help them out with their goal as well. But in general, we're not naturally made to have six packs and walk around like gladiators. That's just
being too lean, right?
That's not what we're actually designed to do. Our body doesn't like being in that state. Now, if you're training, like someone like Byron who does that their entire life, your body will adapt to that particular body fat and maintain from there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still need to give it breaks. You still need to feed it things that you're craving to allow your body to stay at that particular weight.
And there's repercussions that come. If a female gets too lean, they lose their period. That's one thing that happens to most females, right? If a guy gets too lean, they lack energy, they lack strength, they can lose the sex drive.
Muscle loss.
So it's all cool to walk around and be but if you got no sex drive and you're looking good, it's kind of pointless too. You start losing your period, that's probably not a good sign unless you're doing it for competition. It's very short term.
Right.
So there's a fine line, but it's not a six-pack's cool, dieting for it, keeping it's great, but the truth of it is diet. It does take time. If you're 15-16% body fat and you're trying to get down to 6, it's a 4-month process. You can't do it too quick, like you said, because by doing it, you lose muscle, you lose energy, you're just going to hate your life.
Right.
It's slowly chipping away, doing it slowly but surely over a long period of time. And you're dieting back in the past with what? 16 weeks, would you say? I know some people do 20 weeks.
Yeah, I started around like 20 weeks, but it was more so just getting everything in order to where I'm actually tracking what I'm eating, so I can see what amount of food I can eat at the most to allow my body to still metabolize fat and lose weight still, and then
hold as much size and muscle as possible, right?
That's the thing too. Most of us, when we're trying to lose weight in general, or actually trying to have better abs, we'll do I'll call it a crash diet. Maybe they're doing a crash diet, but dieting so hard to where you're losing muscle. We both
of it too.
We both know when you lose muscle, male, especially female perspective, metabolism is going to come to a halt a lot faster.
Your metabolic rate slows down because the more muscle you got, the higher metabolic rate, and the more muscle you lose, the more that slows down.
Yes, sir. So we're not saying at the same time not to neglect weight training and training your abs. We're saying that you want to have your base, which is going to be proper eating towards that goal, because we have to realize too, your abs are muscle as well. If you have very strong and big developed abs, that's still a muscle, so you're going to be able to burn fat in that area a lot faster. So you'll have these athletes or bodybuilders who have great abs, and maybe they're eating a good amount of food, and maybe they're eating more than you think they would be eating. But the thing about it is they need to preserve that muscle in general to allow them to actually metabolize more fat and maintain, because we both know that if you have muscle, male or female, you're able to actually burn fat more effectively, especially in the ab region as well, and then you also be able to actually maintain a lot easier as well if you have proper protein and proper muscle as well.
And then you also got spot reduction, where people think you can take a certain amount of fat from a certain area. So by doing sit-ups, I'm chipping away body fat at my stomach.
Totally.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You can't keep weight on your booty and get your abs leaner. When you lose body fat, you lose it from overall.
Yes.
For me, the first thing I notice, I lose it in my face. Right. I'm sure you got something that you notice first.
Exactly, yeah.
And as you get down, I start to notice veins here and there, blah, blah, blah. Vein in my leg. Okay, now I got veins in my stomach. Right. It's kind of like a process of me chipping away, and I know where I'm losing it. Right. But I can't just take weight from one area because that's what I want. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah. And people don't talk about it a lot, but I think mental health is a big thing too. What I mean by that is making sure that you're in that proper state. If you're dieting or on a weight loss journey or following your macros, and what you're doing is not something that you can feel is sustainable or something you feel is miserable, after a while you're going to crash and burn. It's going to cause a lot of anxiety. It might cause depression. It might cause a lot of anger to where you're having those hormones spike that aren't good hormones. That's going to allow you to actually degress. You'll store fat, store water, lose muscle. So like I said, I stress all the time, taking diet breaks or listening to your body when you're craving fries, having a meal every now and then while you're on your journey is not a bad idea. You don't have to you don't have to go, head down, drive into the mud and work hard, that's not really going to be realistic. A lot of us follow like people who compete, maybe like Byron, who have to look a certain way. So we're going to be like machines and we're just going to dial in. But most of us aren't machines to where we can just really dig and dig and dig, you know, where we actually need breaks and we need to actually focus on our mental health to where we can actually hit our goal. So it's not about going as hard as possible. It's more so going as smart as possible. With that being said,
a sustained balance.
Yeah, sustained balance. So if you haven't got very good sleep and you need to do 2 hours of cardio today because that's what you want to do, but you're going to only get 3 hours of sleep, I would trade that cardio and get some sleep because your body needs to actually get that reset. And if you have to realize too, that a lot of those functions that go on for our bodies to reset and restore happens when we sleep. If you don't get proper sleep, it's going to affect our mental health as well, from how we think to how we process to how aggravated we can get. On top of that too, our ability to lose weight plays a big role with sleep as well. So just, you know, I always say all the time, one variable at a time. If you're starting from scratch, you know, you pick up a magazine, you see somebody who you want to look like, but you're opposite, high body fat. You want to just pretty much see what you need to do first. That's going to be the least of a stressor for you naturally. Those people who are everyday people, like, you know, people like ourselves who have kids, have families, and you want to go on your weight loss journey, you want to see what's going to be feasible for you to do to actually get results and be confident and be sustainable. So if it be, I don't have very good sleep, let me get that first. I eat whatever I want, let me track what I'm actually eating first. You know, I'm not doing any kind of cardio at all, let me go for walks every day. I'm not doing, you know, all those things opposed to doing all of it at once. It's you want to just make realistic expectations for yourself.
And setting little habits.
Yeah.
Over time, right?
It's not going to happen overnight. You gotta be okay with enjoying the journey.
We were talking about this before we started filming. This isn't a bodybuilding channel. This isn't a bodybuilding chat.
Yep.
What we're looking for people who want to lose weight, may want to get a six-pack.
Right.
But it's it's maintainable, sustainable, something that is achievable. So yeah, and think about your end goal. Hey, 40 pounds overweight and I want to get a six-pack. Yeah, that might be good and well, but you might be a single father, working a full-time job, blah, blah, blah. And you get there, but now what?
Yeah.
It's going to be, I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's going to be very hard once you hit that goal to stay at that goal.
Correct.
And then you're going to start going backwards and you start having mental games and you start to lose like motivation.
That's the worst.
So you need to kind of figure out, okay, yeah, this is my goal, but what is my long-term lifestyle goal?
Right.
What is my blueprint? Where do I want to stay? Where do I want to fluctuate between? Like Colin and I probably fluctuate between 7-8% body fat up to 15, wouldn't it?
Right.
But we'll always stay in that range. But the beauty about staying in that range is we also got the information.
Correct.
We've also got the mindset. So we can turn it on anytime we want because we know what to do and we've got the mindset to do that.
Right.
So with that long-term goal and with chipping away, you develop more than just, you're developing good habits, developing on how to do it, developing the fact you can do it. Once you've done it once, it's easy to do it again. So we're not trying to get everybody on stage. I couldn't care less about anyone on stage.
Correct.
I'm trying to motivate and help 99.9% of the population who are just trying to get healthier.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, truth about six-pack is if you don't diet, you will never get one. If you don't diet for a long, consistent amount of time, you don't get one. And just finally too, like the difference between being like 12% and 6%, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is huge.
Oh man.
It is months of dieting,
achieving that,
and he's the best person to talk to you about this. It's refining and refining, isn't it? The further you go in.
Oh yeah. It's everyone's not going to have a six-pack. It's it's not being mean or being negative. It's just the facts. And
it's hard damn work.
Yeah. What I mean by six-pack is if you see someone on a fitness magazine cover, that person. First of all, if you see someone who's like in the movies, like Thor, for instance, and you see his abs.
Movie's a great one, right? Wolverine, these guys.
Yeah. There's a lot of CGI, first of all, guys, so keep that in mind. So if he looks great, it doesn't look as great in person. It's CGI, so don't be discouraged if you never look that way. But the main thing about it is these guys girls have trainers and that live with them and help them coach down to that show.
Nutritionists, chefs.
And like you said, it's temporary. They don't walk around that way year round. You might see them a week later, like, man, he put on 20 pounds. I'm like,
even you and I, our best photos have been in our best condition, right?
Yep.
Nobody goes and has a professional photo shoot when they're okay.
Yeah.
They always wait till they're prime. They get the photos and then they ease off. because we all know it's not maintainable.
Yeah, majority of us people who you see who have the best abs you see in your life, they don't have that year round. They don't have the mentality to have that year round because it's not a very easy thing to do. And then most of us it's just not healthy as well. We'll be realistic. If you're down to like 3-4% body fat, we both know the health issues that are going to cause down the road, from our mental health to just our physical health, not having that body fat be there present. So that's usually for a competition or for a photo shoot or for movie roles. So
yeah, and if you're getting paid like Hugh Jackman, like Wolverine or Zac Efron in Baywatch, you're shredded.
Yep.
But if you watch his interviews, he goes, I was eating chicken and rice 6 meals a day for month after month and a month, and I hated it. But he's getting paid $millions of dollars. The movie's only shot once. That's there forever.
Correct.
I'd do the same thing.
Correct. Yep.
You're definitely going to make that sacrifice because you're getting paid to do it, and you want to look your best on screen.
That's right.
Besides maybe Dwayne Johnson, he just seems to look good all the time.
But
he's also getting a lot of work. So maybe that's why he.
Yeah, he's a different individual.
So I hope you guys get some value out of that. Just don't get caught up with social media. Don't get caught up with these sit-ups, these fancy exercises. The truth is, diet will get you there.
Correct.
But it takes consistency and it takes a long period of time.
Game plan.